But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back to right here on the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anchor and I will guide you through all the action as it unfolds live out on the various tracks of CVRcade. Last Thursday you had the you had the entertainment of watching me suffer for once. Beth was so great, she got in the booth, she commentated all three zones, so massive shout out to Beth York for stepping up big time to allow me to get out there and rack up some experience, learning the tracks again, learning what it's like to be in the pack, because I can tell you this, from racing, from rewatching the stream is amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed rewatching the stream back, but the stream only captures about this much of the storyline. Like, to actually be in the pack, there are so many storylines unfolding, and to talk to one of those, let's go and chat with one of the racers racing today. We've got Niels Heldens, who has made quite a name for himself for racing Zone E on a Saturday. It was his preferred zone during the last season of the World Cup. Niels, how are the legs feeling today?
Cold. It's pretty cold in there. It's pretty cold outside as well. So I think cold is a key word.
Well, will they warm up in time?
Hopefully. Yeah, probably with the no-skill events, they normally warm up quite nicely because you just sit in the drop, you don't really do anything, and then do a sprint. So yeah, it should be good.
What about the last race of the day? Lakeview Circuit. We've seen one new Lakeview last Thursday, and we're seeing a new Lakeview lane today as well. Yeah. What do you make of that track?
It's a funny one. The corner speeds aren't that hard, but there are two cases where you need to be aware of what lane you're in. So yeah, it should be fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see how it unfolds. 1 minute 15 left. Good luck, Niels, here in the racing. Let's get a quick word from Timothy Tamund if he is available. He is. Timothy, you had Jennifer Garcia, your teammate, win her first primetime Omnium on Thursday. How did you celebrate?
Oh, we got piss drunk. No. Just had some chat. It was good. Good fun. I wasn't too much of help there, so yeah, Jennifer and Ben did it mostly on themselves. So yeah, massive kudos to them. We're gonna see how we do here.
When Timothy says that, of course, he means drinking the Kool-Aid. They have plenty of the good stuff over there, so keeping it all PG. Timothy, 30 seconds remaining. I'll let you wake up here and get ready to do some more racing on today's racing here Saturday. We've also got Tim Fulford broadcasting in today. He's got layers upon layers upon layers. We have got Homer Thompson as well in the broadcast, and This guy's amazing. He just rides every single Omnium there's available in the game. If you schedule it, he will ride it. And what can Homer Thompson do today? As we see, the start has been given here. It is a smaller field, but that does not mean it's going to be a less contested zone, because we also see on a keyboard, Daniel LeBlanc is awoke and awake and ready to go here from Canada. Carl Axel Sander, I heard his electricity went down like just seconds prior to the racing, so we'll see what he can bring. This is, of course, the low skill event of the day, as Homer is trying to pass on the outside here as he's just pedaling on through. So the low skill event of the day means you've got Uncrashable, you've got Corner Caper, and you've got Quantum Shift. And you want to aim to be riding inside each other to create this blob effect, to increase the drafting percentage and make it so that you can kind of have an easy go into the day. You can warm up the legs, and from racing it, this is by far my favorite race. Because you come in, you're kind of cold, you heard Nils say he was cold, you want to warm up, you want to have a nice easy introduction to your racing on CVRcade. So this, it gently, you know, wakes you up, it kind of opens your eyes, and then you get this fun sprint at the end where anyone can win. It comes down to timing, it comes down to draft efficiency, and it comes down to whether or not you can hit your peak numbers. Very, very fun event, very different event compared to the medium skill and high skill event you're going to see later on today here. So very excited to see how it all unfolds, as we've got Timothy and we've got Tim side by side here on the screen. I see we've got Quinton joining us in the chat. We've got Daniel LeBlanc also in the chat. So Quinton and Daniel both on a keyboard. Here's Tim accelerating on the front. He wants to try and break things up here early on. And with the reduced group here, it could work. Like, the drafting is smaller, but I think he's just trying to wake up the legs, spin them out, try and, you know, get the cadence up, get some high explosivity into the legs. So that way you wake up the, what are they called? The high twist. I can't even remember. It's the, oh, I've got my executive producer here looking at me. You know what I'm meaning. When you're trying to sprint, you need to have those twitch fibers in your legs, whatever they're called. But the exact name escapes me as I've got him mouthing the word to me. But it's fine. It's fair. I mean, I can still feel the effects of racing on Thursday. It's absolutely addicting. It's fun. As Quinton with a keyboard further down is trying to move on up here as we go back to the side-by-side screen. We got 1.7, I think it's fast twitch fibers, whatever they're called. That's what they're called. That just hit me. As you got Timothy on the left, you got Tim on the right here. Team TBD, as Beth York tried to call them, or the Pink Panthers or Team Sarcasm. I'm still going to stick with the Pink Panthers because until they change that kit, they will forever be Pink Panthers, because that's what I remember them for. As here on the left side, you'll see, we get to see their shoulders. You get to see Timothy is a Cade, I think he's a Cade Pro? I think that's what it is, or I'm not sure what that title is. 1, 2, 3, could be, yeah, I think it's a Cade Pro for him. You also see Tim in there as a Cade Master, I think. I think Cade Pro is where you won money. Cade Master is above competitors, so you'll get to keep an eye on where they are as Timothy gives me the thumbs up. It is, we all need coffees, we all need Saturday coffee here, we all need espressos. You got your, when you watch the talk show, you got Beth with her big muck of coffee. Well, I've got my espresso here trying to get ready because we got some good racing ahead of us here. As we enter the last lap of racing, Tim has got one hand on the keyboard. He's trying to move some widgets around as the train passes in the background. And it is time to show your ticket. What do you got? Time to go all out here as we see Nils Heldens on the front. He's here with Peter Kastrup. 500 meters, 400 meters. Homer Thompson is going for it already. He is going away here. 800 equalized watts on the front. Very, very long effort here. Carl Axel Sander. He functions like a roadblock. Somebody will need to come with a lot of power, because right now Homer Thompson is running away with it. 200 meters, 150, 100 meters, as now further back it is Timothy. It is Tim here crossing the line. Timothy, Peter, Tim, Timothy. I think Timothy takes it once more just ahead of Tim, and you get the celebration from Timothy. But Homer Thompson taking that one up early, Carl trying to react to it, and then you had the dash for the line. Now you can see Tim's warmed up, he takes off the shirt, and he is ready for some more racing. So Homer Thompson there attempting a very long-ranged attack. Good strategy, good move there to try and catch everybody else off guard, but they were still synced up. They were sticking in the draft. Carl maybe reacted a second too early, and as the other riders come around, you can see Tim, Timothy, Peter, they're just trying to fight for that bit of timing to get it right. And Timothy, the Pink Panther on the front, 1300 equalized watts here as he's pushing it through. 177, he just gets higher than Tim and Peter, and that's the difference in the end as we get the celebration from Timothy Termont. Timothy, congratulations. We see the celebration once more, winning that first race. I think that's the third time in a row that we've raced Kayla's Mountain Track that I've seen you win on. What is it about that track?
I don't know. It's, I guess, the timing, but it was very in my favor. Homer going early, Carl like reacting, so I got a nice slingshot. But that was close. It was the bike throw at the end that got me the win, definitely.
The bike throw, is that an animation you need to see in the game where you gotta just throw everything into it?
Yeah. Like mid-sprint, you press an extra button, like a small power-up. Yeah.
You know what that means, though? We're just going to see people bike throwing in the middle of the race to try and throw people off.
Genius, yes.
But now, Dark Matter Spire, Timothy, the last time we saw your team take onto this track, you all ditched it in the first corner.
Oh, that was good. Let's not do that again.
We'll see.
I think it's the same power-up, so we could do it. People want it.
Let's go and have a word with Tim Fulford, who came second in that sprint. Tim, I saw you in the chat. You said it tickled?
Yeah, I usually look at it. And, normally you can sit there, but bunch wasn't massive. So, and I've always said about my sprint, it's pretty hard to get it up there. So you've got to depend on some draft at the end. So I hate those school events. So to take second one, I'm pretty happy with.
Why do you hate them?
Because there's not a lot you can do about it. It's just sit in and then sprint, which lends to perhaps other platforms. I prefer to be slightly more engaged, which is why you saw me try and push off the front after the second lap, just to get people thinking, keep people thinking, keep them working. Because otherwise, you can just sit in there and mosey around and not do a lot. So. Something I prefer to do, basically. At least spice it up, warm the legs up. Good sprint. Timothy and Peter are obviously good at that one. High cadence. Some watts. And that flat after the downhill is always longer than you think. So if you've got a draft and you can keep pushing the numbers out, you can often come through people.
Now, Dark Matter Spire is up next. We saw you, Casey, Quinton really nail this one last time it was up. You and Nils, you got something up your sleeves for this race?
No. 5 laps, some wind, 11, 12 kilometers, 6 or 7 people in the racing. So it's going to feel quite long, I think. Of course, I'll try and animate it. That's what makes for good viewing and for exciting racing. So that's what I'll aim to do. How I'll do it and when I'll do it, I'm not quite sure yet.
Well, I will look on in anticipation and await the attack. I think I'm just inherently lazy because I love that first event so much because it's a nice wake-up, but we'll see how it goes. Let's get a final word before we get ready to race from the man who tried to go from so far out. Homer, that was quite the attack you tried to put in there. What were you thinking?
I just thought this was my... If there's any of them I'm going to try to win, this would be the one today, but it wasn't to be, so...
It was not for the lack of trying, though. I mean, I really thought you had that one until the line. I mean, where did you realize, oh, maybe they're going to catch me?
Oh, I realized just before the line that they were gonna roll over me. So yeah, I don't know if it may have been a mind thing. I may have given up because I thought that they were gonna run over me. I'm not sure, but I had already given up. So.
Well, we'll see. I think, Homer, I think there'll be more opportunities. I think this one, knowing your engine, you can make people hurt. I think we'll see you pick something up here with Daniel LeBlanc, your teammate, as well. So good luck here in the next race, Homer. But I do see we have 70 people tuning in right now on Mixer. And you're waking up on your Saturday, you're making your coffee, you've got the bagels in the bagel toaster or whatever else you got going for you for breakfast, some oatmeal, some raisins, whatever you want. You're like, I'm gonna go to Mixer. I'm gonna go watch some physical esports. You like CVRcade? These people are physically riding their bikes. Tim, Timothy, Homer, Nils, Peter, Carl, they're all riding their bikes physically, and that's transmitted into the game, and it moves this little avatar you see there on the middle of the screen. And they're racing, not this time for money, but in the CVRcade World Cup, which is just the run-up to it. It's the anticipation. It is the practice rounds before the real thing starts. Last season, they raced for $25,000. Tim Fulford won almost $6,000 from racing his bicycle from his home. I mean, that is something that you can't really find somewhere else, and that is why we're broadcasting it live here on Mixer, because this is the movement. This is the next step in esports. You've seen League of Legends fill out stadiums. You've seen Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Next thing, you're going to have all these teams taken up around the world racing their bikes, because this is where it's all headed. Olympics is going to have Rocket League. Would not be too surprised to eventually see something like this. So if you are a lurker in the chat, I see SWAT team is in there. If you are a lurker and you're watching 77, you're thinking, what is this? Say hi. Come in. Give us your best gift. We'll rate it from 1 to 10. If it is a 10, you will gain 10 Jesper points. And those who have been here before will know that Jesper points are highly coveted. They go a long way, and they can be substituted. They can be, you know, cashed in for quite some good things out there in the real world. Bit like going to the arcade, as Tim Fulford on the initial stretch here of Dark Matter Spire is increasing the tempo, and we look what this is doing to the other bits of the riders. Homer on the back here is trying to get back up. We've got Target in the chat, we got Beth York in the chat, we got SWAT team 123 saying you need it, my buddy, good luck. Well, thank you for that. But Homer, he tried to attack in the first race, but on the front here, you got Racer's Edge from Nils and Timothy. So they're popping their power-ups, sorry, from Tim, to try and get away initially here and make that gap. And it's a smart move. Again, you see it's coordinated. It was weight lifted, Racer's Edge, and now Wind at their back as they coordinate their attack here. They are teammates. Nils and Tim are teammates in CVRcade, and they are trying to put the hurt on the rest of the pack, and it's working. They've got a 3-second gap down to Carl Axel Sander, who unfortunately is not able to make it into the broadcast because his electricity went out. Now, little does Carl know that he could just plug it into the wall. You know, he takes his bike, plugs it into the wall, and there you go. You can be a chipmunk on a treadmill, just powering up the whole house. I'm sure that would work. As we now see Carl being forced to react here. He's got wind at his back as well, so there is a wind at all times out on the course. You'll see a little 4 kilometers an hour down in the middle of the screen. That is where the wind is coming from. So when they use a wind at their back, they take that headwind, they take that crosswind and turn it into a tailwind. And now Carl, without having to use that many power-ups, is back on touch here with the front group. And if we go back, you see Timothy Tamont getting some help from Daniel LeBlanc here. So he's having some help with somebody on a keyboard. As you can see, a Target using a few sparks in the chat. Loving it. You got SWAT team saying, don't stop my buddy. Go, go, go. Who are you saying that to, SWAT team? Who are you cheering for? Which of the riders out on the track currently are you a fan of? As you can see, Timothy on the left, Tim on the right here. And Carl Axel Sander is the lone by-passenger of the Team Cycling Hub pain train here that has left the station. And they are trying to attack away. As Timothy, Daniel link up. Peter Kastrup opted not to be in the stream today. He would rather ride on his own. That's what team says. I have autism in my body. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you are here in the stream, my friend. I'm glad you are watching this and cheering on with the rest of us. I hope you have a great day. Call me Jacob Lowe, my buddy. Well, Jacob, thank you for watching, man. Thank you for making the chat popping in. Awesome. If we go back, Homer, he's got the engine. I think I've been in this position before where you go up against Homer on this specific track and he will just continue riding away. You can never rest up. You can never lull because he's just going to continue riding his pace. You can see he's at 390, 395. Hasn't really moved. He just sticks around this pace and he just rides away. Negative split. Just keeps on moving up here as we see there's some sauce in the chat. Quinton now, though, trying to move to the front. So Quinton, a Team Cycling Hub member on a keyboard, using all his 3 power-ups to go across to the front. As it looks like Carl has just been spat. Carl is out the back. So just like that, Carl Axel Sander, what? Somebody get this man in for a moto check. Somebody get this guy into the garage. Somebody call AAA. We need a tow car out here. Carl Axel Sander. What? What just happened? He's out the back. He's even further back than Homer, who's past him now out on the track. As we can see, he's here. Then chasing on, you've got Timothy Tamont, who was riding here with Daniel LeBlanc, who was just sitting at 365. He's on a keyboard from Canada, and you can see what's happening. We got Ultimate OG671 saying, what's the tournament? Well, this is the run-up to the CVRcade World Cup. So the CVRcade World Cup Season 1 ended just before Christmas, and Season 2 is now just around the corner. And so Season 1 had a prize purse of $25,000, and who knows what the prize purse will be for Season 2. As you see, Target saying Homer T for the win. Loving it. Homer is definitely a fan favorite in the chat. SWAT team says, do you Xbox, my buddy? Yes, you can get CVRcade on your Xbox. If you want to, get fit, have fun, play games, you can get early beta testing on Xbox for CVRcade. So, you can see Daniel Tin, though, on the right. He was in the chat. Fulford T, I think his name was saying, thanks for the help here, Daniel. And that's because Daniel LeBlanc is on a keyboard. If you look on the right-hand side, where there is like normally a black square with like an ANT+ signal in the middle, there's a keyboard if you are writing non-physically. So, Daniel woke up in the morning, wants to help out Homer, but now he's choosing to help out Timothy Tamont here. So what you are watching right now is the practice sessions. This is like watching scrims. It's like watching one team versus another, fine-tune their skills, find, all these sort of nuances of the gameplay that can really change it up. And so Daniel and Timothy here on a keyboard are working directly against... Oh, wait, you give enough help on keyboard is the least I can do. Oh, I think that's Daniel paying back Timothy, who's been on a keyboard many a times in Zone T, which is later on in the night. But we saw Quinton in the chat say, I'm coming, boys, I'm catching up. That's because Quinton is also on a keyboard. Now, Quinton has had quite the week of working out, according to Nils. Nils said that Quinton needed a bit of rest here. And we all know that, Quinton, you can't keep up with Homer. Homer does every single Omnium. Homer keeps riding. Quinton is not like Homer Thompson. Quinton needs a rest. Quinton is not immortal. He's not godly. He might be the CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale champion of Season 1, but that's all he is. And winner of the most amount of money ever on CVRcade. But that's just it. And now on a keyboard, he's catching up to Tim, to Nils, and he's going to be looking to help them out. When he catches up to these two on the front, he is going to take the front of this group and he's going to shelter them from the wind. He's going to let them sit in, produce less of an effort to go the same speed. What is this game like to play on your bike? It is so fun because CVRcade it definitely gives you hope because this is physically equalized, meaning Nils, Tim, Timothy, Peter, Homer, despite where they are in their career, despite if they are a Tour de France champion of 7 times or they've never even raced their local race down the street. It doesn't matter because physical equalization, it equalizes the field. It makes it a fair playing ground for anybody to jump on, regardless of their fitness, regardless of their turbo trainer, regardless of their, level to entry. They can compete on fair terms with the rest of the crowd. So, what is it like? It is like a, it's like a game that makes you work, but the endorphins. It's a bit like playing Call of Duty and getting that, tactical nuke. You imagine the endorphins you get when you get that, but you get it again and again and again. And you get fit in the progress. One of our longtime streamers here, Kayla Laguna, she lost, I think it was 40 pounds in the first year of riding CVRcade. And by doing so, she also quickly became one of the best racers on the platform. Now, she has struggled as of late to try and regain that form, regain that level of dominance. But I'm sure if somebody can find it, it is Kayla Laguna. As we have 5 kilometers left, Timothy just trying to leave Daniel LeBlanc here behind, but he is up against it. I mean, Tim, Nils, they have got a support man now catching up in the front here. As you look, now Quinten has made it, and once he comes around, he's just going to sit to the front. So what Quinten is doing right now, he's just sitting on his chair, he's got his keyboard in front of him, he's pressing plus and minus, and in doing so, he's inflicting pain or taking the pain away from certain individuals, depending on whether or not they're their teammates. And so Quinten is going to come on the inside here, and then he's going to move around, and then he's going to support Tim and Nils by giving them shelter. It's a bit like, you know, when there's a storm outside, you put up a tent, you put up an umbrella, you kind of shelter yourself from the rain. That's what Quinten is. We got a TP here on the front helping out Nils, whose heart rate is at 191. So he's definitely working hard to stay with it. Tim is here as well currently, who is sitting first wheel on Quinten Molinez. And they're getting quite the gap here. They've got 20 seconds on the chasing group. I think they've worked so hard. I think the secondary group out on the road, they're going to start to look forward to the next race. The next race up is Submerged Stadium. It's Lakeview Circuit. 2 more races after this. I think they're thinking, you know what? That is a big gap to make up, and they've got Quinten Molinez on the front. So we've got the choo-choo train, as Quinten called it in the chat here. They're just going to be working together here. It's Daniel. It's essentially Derny racing right now. You've got Quinten on the front on a keyboard versus Timothy Tamont and his keyboard. We can go to Tim's audio here for a second. What's up, Tim?
I'm just saying that we brought Quinten back up to the front group because Timothy has decided to sit on a bot, so we're going to do the same. The idea was for me and Niels to go away alone, but it doesn't appear that Timothy wants to race. He would rather do a journey, so we're just responding to that. Just want to make it clear.
On that note, let's go. Sorry?
Final lap, Quinten will pull off, and we'll go alone.
We're almost at the final lap. We got just about a kilometer until we're there. Let's get a response from Timothy, who is sitting further down. Timothy, I'm not sure if you heard that, but what do you make of it?
Very well. The fact that I'm on Daniel's wheel is because I can't go past him. I'm struggling to hold his wheel here, so yeah, there's not much I can do getting past him. So I'm fine here. Let him do them.
Well, there you got it. Tim and Timothy, the rivalry continues here on CVR World Cup. The two guys have been sharing some words back and forth now for a while here, as Timothy left Team Cycling Hub not too long ago to start his own team, the Pink Panthers, of course, name still to be decided and to be publicized here. So we'll see as Timothy just wiping off the sweat of his face and his glasses here. So definitely working hard. I do see in the chat we've got Lucky Torres back. Lucky Torres, you must be ecstatic. The way Liverpool has been playing, my friend, you must be enjoying every single weekend. You're just thinking, you know what? This is the year we're going to be joining the Invincibles. We're just going to go undefeated and we're going to have fun. But the real question is, Lucky Torres, when are you going to get on the platform? When are you going to get on CVRcade? I've seen you so many times in the chat. I know you like to play games because you played Fortnite last time. When are you going to get in here, my friend? When are we going to see you take up the mantle here and either choose to be Team Timothy or Team Tim or Team Homer? Let's see here. They're taking each game at a time. I'm sure. But everybody else, they're thinking way ahead. So Quinten comes off the edge here. As you're seeing Nils, he's trying to talk. Not sure what he's trying to say here. He's might be hyping himself up. He might be, you know, hype manning himself, saying, "Come on, the one and only Nils Heldens is just fighting through here as he's trying to share all his details. Soon, boss, I've been doing too much stock trade. Well, Lucky, the stock market sleeps. The stock market, you know, as they say, it is not too violent. It doesn't move. The stock market will be there tomorrow as well. Don't worry. You don't have to keep your eye on it at all times. It's not like there's such a thing as day trading. That's why they call it year trading. As you've got Tim and Nils now. I think the gloves are going to come off. I think they're going to put a race here to the line as Tim uses Racer's Edge. He's at 184 equalized heart rate, while Nils is at 194 here. So what's he gonna do? Quinton says, oh, that's the hard work done, as Tim Fulford goes flying by. 3 seconds is the gap, and it's only gonna get bigger now. He's gonna just move on out, establish himself here. He did lose last week to his teammate Quinton Molinez, as Quinton won it on Dust Bowl crit at the end. So I think Tim Fulford would like to take this one now that Quinton is in on a keyboard and Nils is trying to keep on up. So 3 seconds, we're looking at it further down. Quinton is also going to take valuable points away from the secondary group of chasers further down, as it looks like Lucky Taurus. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. I was not sure where I was going with it. I was just trying to save it one word at a time here, as we got Nils. He's actually catching up now. It looks like Tim is letting go a bit of steam here. So Nils at 196. He's got power-ups left. He should have something in the tank here to try and come around, but 4 beats on the equalized heart rate is all he's got. And you gotta be careful. We've seen crashes in this particular corner here. If you've got a power-up, now's the time to use it. But I think Nils is just looking up. 300 meters remaining. It doesn't look like he's getting ready to sprint anytime soon. And Tim, with a weight lifted, is going to go on here to take the victory on the front with 5 laps of Dark Matter Spire behind us. It was Bot Quinton versus Bot Daniel. And some spice was thrown into the sauce here. And it felt like it was Timothy tasting the majority of that. As Nils, 2nd place. You've got Quinton in 3rd, Daniel in 4th. Then we'll see what happens to Timothy and Daniel here across the line. Will they have a keyboard versus physical sprint? Timothy's saying no. Oh, I think Timothy's letting Daniel cross the line here, or thinking maybe he's going to let me cross the line first here. As next race up is going to be Submerged Stadium. We've got another 5 laps as Daniel now lets go. He lets Timothy come on through. Hey, DJ. Good to see you back in the stream as well. It's good to see those purple names. I'm not sure what the purple names are, but I'm glad to see the purple names in the chat, because names are names. As you can see, Timothy, by the way, you can quote me on that, as Lucky Torres uses his GIF. That's a cool GIF. I like that. So, let's run the replay one more time here as they cross the finish line. You've got Tim on the right, Timothy on the left here. You can see Daniel versus Quinton, as Timothy had to wipe the sweat off his eye, or just get the tears off. Either of the two works, as Tim in the end put the dagger into Nils Heldens on the climb over the top and then to the finish line. So whatever Nils was saying here strategy wise, it didn't pan off in the end, as it was Tim Fulford taking the win on Dark Matter Spire. Now, Submerged Stadium is a track that has been dominated by, you know, Beth York, by Jennifer Garcia, by Kayla. It's been a track where the women have really come to play. We've also seen Nils do quite well in the past. It'll be fun to see who's going to take up the mantle here on the penultimate race of Zone E. Remember, we've got more racing tonight. We've got more racing for Zones K and L. Purple is pro user a mixer. What does that even mean? Hey DJ, what is a pro user? Please do enlighten me. But congratulations, Tim, taking the victory. Was that you versus Nils? Was that a preordained agreement, or was that whoever had the legs?
No, we were actually on chat for the second to last lap. I said, Quinton, just hold the outside line. Me and Niels will come through. And then Niels agreed that he'd take a pull up the last climb, see if anyone behind would use a power up, and then I'd just take the last kilometre home. So perfectly planned, perfectly executed. I was just an endurance hold. So yeah, all in all, good result.
Now, what happened to Carl? Because Carl was with you guys, and suddenly he was nowhere.
Yeah, like Carl tried really hard to get to us, and basically had a free ticket to the podium. And me and Niels were more than happy to do all the work. And then he just stopped. I haven't seen. He hasn't got his heart rate on again, which is a shame. But yeah, we offered it to him on a plate there, and he didn't take it. So interesting.
We'll see what happens in this one now as you got Submerged Stadium up, but congratulations on that win, Tim. Let's go to Nils, because I want to know, Nils, what those hand signals were all about. We saw you try to solve Enigma or whatever it was.
No, it was me being a bit Italian with my hand gestures. I was talking to Tim and just said, well, he said, I'll go non-family friendly word, hard with time, and just pull you over it, and then you just go. So that was the plan for that, hence the hand gestures. But yeah, it went pretty well, the race. Tim executed it perfectly. Quinton did excellent as well. So yeah, very happy about that.
Now, this race before, you've been up against Beth York. You have a bit of a rivalry. She's not here. Does that mean it's an automatic victory for you?
If only that were the case. We'll see. Obviously, we have flat tire power up, and I hate that one with a passion. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, good luck in this one. Make sure to stay out of the way of the flat tires. Bring an extra inner tube, you know, CO2 canister if need be. Well, good luck here, Nils. Let's go and chat to Timothy, because Timothy, with Tim winning it, Timothy's still in second place, 14 points behind Tim here. Timothy, you're up against it, but you still think there's hope?
Well, there's always hope. But yeah, I'm planning on doing 3 Omniums today, so I'm going to go full here and then see what we can do in the last 2 Omniums today. But yeah, still 2 more races left to go. I did a bit of a recon on the last race for the new map, so yeah, we should be fine there. And this one's, yeah, it's not that long, so we'll see how far we get. But first of all, massive, well, second of all, I guess, no, but massive shout out to Daniel. He didn't have to do that, but yeah, he did. Thanks.
Well, we'll see if he can help you out more here in this next race of Submerged Stadium, but good luck. Let's get a word from a Homer Thompson, because Homer, I think I just saw you down a Coke can. Was that what happened?
That's my energy drink in the morning, yes.
Well, is that the secret? Because you just seem unstoppable. Like, whenever there's a race on, you can always count on Homer Thompson.
Hello. I'm not sure how many I'm going to get in today, so this may be it.
Well, if this is going to be it, Homer, I'm expecting all-out power. We want to see wattage bazooka from Homer Thompson here out on the track. Again, as always, loving the jersey, Homer. Good luck in Submerged Stadium, which is up next here. We have got 5 laps coming up. We've got 1 uncrashable and 1 flat tire. Tim Fulford currently leading at the top of the Omnium. Timothy in second place at 72 points. And then we have Niels Heldens, who's in third at 69 points as we get ready to watch the start here. So 5 laps, it comes down to who is quickest out of the gate, who gets out and about and away from the trouble that the other racers. Flat tire from Daniel. That is an early flat tire from Daniel LeBlanc. So not sure what he was trying to do with that one, but it may just have succeeded. We'll see further on. Tim Fulford now on the front with Quinton Molyneux. So Quinton on the keyboard trying to get out in front of the action, and Timothy sticking on the wheel of Tim Fulford like glue. And he wants to come around, because to win this Omnium, he needs to come around here and take maximum points. As we've got Peter Kastrup down in 7th, Carl in 6th, Daniel down in 5th, and Nils in 4th place right now. So Timothy did get a bit of a rest, well, not much of a rest, but he did have someone to ride with in the previous race on Dark Matter Spire. As you can now see, Timothy and Tim This is a track that is so difficult because there's so many twists and turns, there's so many opportunities to overcook a corner, and you don't get much of a draft because every time you line up behind somebody, the road swears to the left, it swears to the right, it gets very difficult. Now, SWAT team Jacob, I will get to your Instagram messages after the stream because we are currently live in front of 160 people here, so we're gonna see. But Timothy finds himself behind Tim here, and Quinton taking some points out on the track. He's on a keyboard. He's not going to slow down as Carl crashes. Quinton is not going to slow down. He's on a keyboard. He's going to keep this up here all the way. I think Quinton wants to try and see if he can win it. So Timothy stands up, passes around Tim Fulford as we come to the conclusion of the first of 5 laps here out on the track. And remember, the last race has a scoring multiplier of 2.5. Lakeview Circuit, that's going to be an interesting race as Quinton uses his flat tire. As Timothy was coming around, he used the flat tire power up. And I think you heard Tim say that they are in audio chat. They are discussing it, Nils, Quinton, and Tim here. So that was an orchestrated move to make sure that Tim got the best out of it and Timothy got the worst out of that attack here. As Quinton is still just way up the road on a keyboard. Zach Minger says, good morning. Well, good morning to you as well, Zach. How are you doing on this lovely Saturday? Where are you watching from in the world? Are you Belgium, UK, Canada, Sweden, Netherlands, US, or even Denmark? For any sec? No takers? Well, you never know. It's Tim on the left-hand side here, Timothy on the right. These two, they're pushing it. It's going to be interesting to see how this develops here. Is Timothy planning to do 3 Omniums today? He's going to have to push it as we go back to our favorite Italian, Nils Heldens here, as he has been dropped out of the back. 194 equalized heart rate. His heart rate has been through the roof today. So either he's coming in very, very fresh, or he's been working really hard here today to keep up with the front group here. So he's just got to hope that he comes on through here and takes up maximum points to finish on the podium here, because with the last race, anything can happen. We've got Chilled Rabbit with the panda in the chat. Well, panda to you too, Chilled Rabbit. I know somebody who loves pandas who would love that emoji in the chat, so cheers for that as we now move back up to the front again here. Timothy and Tim, the two riders side by side. Timothy comes around now and he moves on over. As you can see, the pink outfit here is moving on. We've got Jacob is from West Virginia. Man, that is early in the morning. Oh, have you had your coffee? That's not Italy. RCB, I know. In the post-race interview, we asked Nils, why were you making those hand signals? What were you trying to do? Were you solving Enigma? Were you solving a Rubik's Cube that we couldn't see on the stream? And he said, nah, I was taking out my best Italian. So it's all fair. I get it. It's fun. As we see, it's Dan Knopp is in the chat as well. Well, welcome guys. You're watching CVRcade, which is physical esports. On the left, Timothy Tamont is on his bicycle. On the right, Tim is on his bicycle. They're moving without having to leave their house. They don't have to go to the gym to be on an exercise machine. They don't have to get in the car, drive across, the city, have to remember their PIN code to the gym, pay their membership. No, this is free to play. This is physical esports made fun here. So you got DNG in the chat as well. How are you all doing? As Timothy passes on through. He's got a bit of a gap here. You look on the left-hand side, you'll see the scoreboard. You'll see Tim leading by 8 points if it was to end like this right now, because Quentin is up the road on his keyboard. Timothy in second and Tim in third. These two are moving side by side. Jacob asks, do you like ice cream? Yes. Massive yes. Caramel topped ice cream is probably the flavor of the month right now. My executive producer next to me has a thing or two for cookie dough ice cream. So what's your favorite ice cream, guys? What ice cream do you eat on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning to wake you up? What's your go-to ice cream? That would be interesting, because if you have an answer to that one, we should probably be slightly worried. You can see Tim on the right, 186, Timothy 185. They're both close up here on the heart rate. This is going to be a really exciting finish between the two. Nils is still 4 seconds back here, as he's just making sure to stay close in case either Tim or Timothy make a mistake here. And we've seen Nils do great things on Submerged Stadium before, so we'll see if he can catch back up. He's standing up, he accelerates, and we saw Flat Tire get popped here. So Flat Tire makes Nils catch up to Timothy, and he moves around. Timothy is caught in the wake of this. This is the move, and this is where having the numbers makes the difference. The power-ups from Team Cycling Hub coming out. This is where, if you have members of your team racing your Omnium, you have more chances. But Timothy still has his power-up left. I think Tim does too. So we'll see what happens here. The two of them have got something going for them. I think Quinten also has his power-up. So this is going to be a really, really tough finish. RCB says Italian ice cream. Oh, gelato is amazing. We had some in Bologna. Amazing. Coffee ice cream. I'm not sure, because you have ice cream in the evening. You kind of want it to like settle down. You don't really want it to wake up even more. But since it's you, Beth, we'll let it pass. The Tour de France, well, the pusher, it kind of is. You could be the Tour de France. You could be, you know, an esports member of the future by riding your bicycle. So these riders are racing their own bikes in their own home, virtually online in an augmented reality world, and they're competing for prize purses. As Nils wants revenge. He wants to come over the top here, but I reckon Tim still has his power up left. He still has his Flat Tire remaining here, so we'll see. As Nils, he stands up, he gets his phone out, he wants to change the song here. He wants to get, I'm not even sure, what is Sebastian Vettel's soundtrack? Would that be, it wouldn't be Absolutely Everybody. That's Tim on the right. I think Nils is going to get out the Dutch national anthem here. I think that's what he wants to hear as he gets ready for the sprint between him and Tim, sorry. Meanwhile, Quinten on a keyboard is like, hey guys, I'm just out here pressing the plus button, pressing the left button. But here comes Timothy. Timothy with a Flat Tire has been popped. This is his chance. He needs to give it everything. But then Tim with his Flat Tire nullifies the one of Timothy Timont. And what that means is, ladies and gentlemen, Quinten is gonna win. Quinten waits, lets Tim come through and take all the points. And with that, Tim looks very secure ahead of the next race. Tim wins Submerged Stadium. Niels Heldens at 200 equalized heart rate will cross the line in second. And you can see the celebration on his face. Then Quinten is going to finish third, taking the maximum amount of points. And then Timothy in fourth. Homer Thompson down in seventh. He's fighting with Peter Kastrup. Let's watch this one play out. Homer versus Peter. Old teammates now on opposing teams. Cognition versus Velocity Vixen. And goodbye? Oh, Peter Kastrup. Oh no, Homer! Oh, he stacks it right in to an obstacle. Oh, now he's stuck. Oh, Homer Thompson is stuck. What an absolute... Oh, that's a shame. Robbed of a great finale. Homer Thompson, face full of concrete. He even had his power up left. Let's roll up the instant replays. So at the end, it came down to the Flat Tire power-ups. Tim was holding his, just waiting to use his when Timothy would use his. And when Timothy activated his, Tim countered, and in the end, it wouldn't even matter. But Niels Heldens pushed the envelope here all the way on through. He was sitting there, waiting for the moment, thinking what could be. And he does take second place, which puts him into second place on the Omnium. A solid racing all the way throughout. It just came down to the teammates. It came down to the activation of the power-ups. Flat Tire is a brutal power-up. And then we saw Homer Thompson, who unfortunately hit a rock at the very end. Quinten sits up, lets Tim come by, lets Nils come by, and then he takes third place to secure maximum points for Team Cycling Hub. Congratulations, Tim, once more. Talk me through that race, because you and Timothy for a very long time were neck and neck.
Yeah, good racing. I still don't know the corner speeds on that. I know one corner speed which is a lot lower than you think on the others. Timothy tried to catch me out a couple of times on that, so fair play to him. But I think the most crucial part of that race was I didn't know Niels was going to use his flat tire, but he did. And I got back on it pretty quickly, put it back to 1,000 equalised to get the speed back up. Niels came past Timothy, and Timothy didn't sprint to get back on. So kind of broke the elastic there, and then probably demoralised him with my teammate going past him. So, yeah, tough race. Timothy tried hard. Quinton, I don't know what he was doing. He just went up front to sort of leave him. Paul Grant can ask for the points, which he gave me, so that's kind of him. But, yeah, tough race after another tough race. And this one I've never raced on before.
I don't think anyone has.
Yeah, this is going to be spicy, I think.
Now, we have Jacob Love in the chat asking Tim, are you okay, my buddy?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you have it, Jacob. He also wants to know, what's your favorite ice cream?
My favourite ice cream?
Yes.
Good question. Probably Hockings from the UK, but main brand is probably Caramel Choo Choo from Ben & Jerry's.
Well, there you have it, Jacob. These are the hard-hitting questions you want to know on a Saturday afternoon while watching CVRcade Racing. Tim, I'll let you get rested up. Nils, that effort, we saw you at 200 equalized heart rate. Before we talk about that, what is your favorite ice cream?
Stracciatella. So to keep it Italian again, it's like a sort of vanilla, but with chocolate chips in it. I love that.
I've never had that, but I'll definitely see that. That sounds tasty, but 200 equalized heart rate. It's just seemed like you were in a world of suffering all the way through. What kept you going?
A good song I had on. I had the Formula One theme on, so that helped me push quite a bit. But yeah, it was. I was just trying to keep up with Timothy and Tim, and then I saw the opportunity to pop a flat tire, which worked great in our favour. And then I got on the tail of Tim, close to him, and then we saw Timothy popping his flat tire, and Tim did an excellent job of popping his own. So great bit of teamwork today.
It definitely looks like you guys are well oiled, so I'm excited to see what happens next here on Lakeview Circuit. We do have 200 people watching right now, so make sure to click the follow button down below, because I know there's a bunch of you out there lurking. You're sitting there, you're watching, you're thinking, whatever ice cream Nils just said, it sounds absolutely delicious, and you're making me hungry, and I hate you. And because I hate you, I'm going to click the follow button down below, and I know you will, because we're keeping roll count here, because we'll be live later on today again. Let's hear from Timothy Tamont before we go into the last race of the day. Timothy, the nearly man. You were so close, but you were just outgunned by your old teammates.
Yeah, very fair play to them. The teamwork was on point. Quinton up front, me having to chase, Tim on my wheel. I tried to play with him a bit in that spicy corner, but yeah, he's too experienced for that. It got me like a bike length or two that he had to slow down, but other than that, fair play. I knew my flat tire was going to be immediately countered by Tim, so yeah, I popped it, but I knew it was going to be countered anyway, so yeah, didn't get much out of that. And the moment Nils popped his beforehand, I couldn't react. I tried standing up, giving it a sprint, but I just didn't have it at that moment. And yeah, they got away. But yeah, this last one's a 2.5 multiplier, so we'll see. I did a few keyboard races with Glenn on this one, so yeah, let's hope that plays in my favor.
All praise to Glenn. Good luck, Timothy. 10 seconds remaining here as Glenn is around. Here we go. Last race of the day. Sorry. Last race of the zone, because we've got 2 more zones tonight where you're going to see people, you're going to see more familiar faces such as Jennifer Garcia. I think Kay Laguna might be here as well. You're going to see Moti Pikelny, I think, and a few more that I'm very excited to see on the stream. But this is it. The debut of Lakeview Circuit. 3 laps. This is a very tricky course. You've got Niels Heldens on the front of Timothy Tamont. They're all riding mountain bikes out on the track. This very new track that's been added to the game. Carl and Peter further down. They move on through. There are some technical aspects of the track where you've got some disabled lanes, you got some flower beds that somebody thought it was a good idea to plant in the middle. They just forgot to actually put in the flowers, so maybe the gardener should go back and actually finish their job. But you got Peter here on the left moving on through. So Peter has been having somewhat of a day, not really to write home about, but could he save it here on the last track of Zone E? Quentin once more, keyboard on the front, Tim second place. So Tim is winning, Quentin is second on the Omnium, and Niels is third. Here comes the flower beds. Who is gonna miss the entry? Timothy just gets on through. Everybody chooses a way, but Carl Axel Sander meets his destiny as he plants his face down into the daffodils. Now Tim, Quentin on the left. Tim, the fact that he's on a physical bike means that he can accelerate quicker than Quentin, so he moves on through. Quentin has the potential to block Peter here, but I don't think we'll see any of those shenanigans. I think fair play is name of the game here as Timothy comes on through here. His legs not being able to respond to a flat tire power-up does not bode well for the continuance of 2 more Omniums today, because this is the first one. You've got to do it twice more later on today. I do see our follower count has gone up, by the way, guys, but it hasn't gone up by a lot. There's 200 people in this chat right now watching. We're at 7,055 followers. We're 200 people watching. Now, let's deduct 50 followers. We know 50 people in here probably following. That means by the end of this, we should be at 7,200 followers. So you have 2 minutes to right now click the follow button, because we'll be live later. We'll be live again Tuesday, live again Thursday. And I know we piqued your interest. I know you're sitting here thinking, what in the heck am I watching? What? Am I dreaming? Did I wake up? Oh, I should have another cup of coffee. I must be seeing things. I must be tripping. Well, you are not. You are most definitely not. I see we've just had 2 people, 3 people. That's the spirit. Come on, can we get it up to 7,060? I know you want to. Do it for Timothy. Look at Timothy right now. He's in a world of suffering here. He's up against it. The numbers are not in his favor, and he's suffering for you. We've got Tim Fulford, who clearly wants to win this first race on the front here. As you come by, both him and Quentin are pushing it. DK Mansuni saying, what? Help to hit the follow button again. That's fair. DK, I hope Vibeke comes back later on tonight. We got Spectacular Dash saying, lol, definitely. There you go. Lucky Torres likes the I must be tripping. Well, you never know. 7,061. That's it. We went up 6. 5, 6. We went up 6. Come on, can we go up another 6? Radical friend in the chat with HP. I think everybody... Oh, Quentin goes down. We're having a race. Peter versus Tim. But Tim can do whatever he wants here. Tim could just chill out if he wanted to do so. We got El Beanster27 saying, what on earth is this? Well, you have joined the tea party. You have just joined us. We're about to have our second cup of coffee here. Some cake. We're going to discuss political matters of the... No. So this is CVRcade. It's physical esports. Tim right now is riding his own bike connected to a device which transmits that data to our free-to-play game available on Xbox and computer. He is then racing against somebody on the opposite side of the world. Peter Castro in the Netherlands right now going head-to-head with Tim Fulford. And he goes over the top. Oh, I just hit the microphone. He goes over the top. Sorry, as he attacks away. I see we're at 7,062. That means 7 of you have done your duty. That leaves 143 people. I need you to look at the other people in this queue. I know when you're all standing out there and you're waiting to get into a nice, prestigious restaurant, you don't like the guys you're in the queue with. You're thinking, go away, this is my place. But now, we are a collective. You're all in this queue together. We're not queuing linearly, we're queuing horizontally, so we're all equals here, which means everybody, oh, Peter is in a world of trouble here. Peter might just crash here on the left. I don't think he will. I think Tim is trying it, but I don't think there is a disabled lane on the left, but it did look like it could have been. Last lap coming up here. Tim versus Peter. Come on, everybody, all together. Who do you think is going to win this race? Is it going to be Peter Kastrup of Team Velocity Vixen, Dutchie, the Flying Dutchman, or is it going to be Darth Vader, Tim Fulford, the Emperor himself, who's going to take yet another victory here? As L. Beanster says, so cool, I like the fitness game mix, this is brilliant. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, L. Beanster. Make sure to click the follow button below because we stream 3 times a week, 3 hours every time we stream. And we stream racers from all across the world take on the racing here. So we're up to 7,063. One more person, pass it on, pay it forward. That's the spirit. Thank you so much, guys. It honestly helps us so much to see that number go up because Mixer is so into this. We're so into this, and so you got to satisfy Jacob Lowe in the chat. I mean, Jacob has been the highlight of the day here. As Peter is trying to come around, he's attempting to put a move on. 1,000 equalized watts from Tim, 600 from Peter. Peter on the left. This is like horse racing. It's like dog racing. You know, you open the doors, you're in your lane, and now you've just got to go on through here. As DK says, Tim has got too big of an ego to come second. Well, we'll see here as he can finish this off. 700 meters left on Lakeview Corner. He did crash at the very, very end, and yours truly came around. Now we're watching it again. 500 meters. Tim versus Peter. They're both at 187. Tim Fulford stands up once more, and there's nowhere to be seen. A Flying Dutchman, his ship has sailed by the looks of things. 4 seconds is the gap. Tim Fulford winning 3 out of 4 races today, taking 221 points. Nils will get second. Quinton will get third. Timothy gets fourth here. So there is Victory Boulevard, 1 lane to the finish line, and quantum shifts didn't even come into play on this track. He pops it to celebrate his victory. Tim Fulford beating Peter Kastrup with a very respectable second place. Then you've got Nils Heldens further down, who will cross in third place as he passes through Quinton Molyneux. Gabriel Cosmos says, that's very cool. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Then we got Timothy Tamont, who, together with Carl Axel Sander, they have called AAA. They've decided we're just going to split a cap. As the car is in for reservicing, we're just going to have somebody look at the underwagon, see if there's some pipes loose, some oil spillage. Maybe it needs some more gas in the tank. Definitely not Timothy. Timothy is the kind of guy to let somebody else try and pay for the gas. So we see Timothy now move on through. Oh, it's just funny. As Quentin comes on, sorry, Timothy passes, Carl's out there as well, and Homer Thompson at the very end is down in 13th. Massive effort from Homer here today. Good effort. As we're up to 7,065. There you go, everybody. Can we get to 7,070 before the stream is over? I know we can do it. There's 215 of us. There's a number. Let's go up and hit it. Come on, we can do it. As Fulford says, nice racing, everybody. Homer Thompson takes us home. He prepares for the landing. He flares the nose, and he hits the runway here. And it is safe and sound. Delta over as Homer Thompson finishes us off for today. Tim Fulford, Peter Kastrup. What a great way to end Zone E here today, as they are definitely pushing it, trying to see if they could make the other person make a mistake here. But Tim Fulford just doesn't make mistakes. He can wipe the sweat off his face on his elbow, on his shoulder. Takes the victory. He wins Dark Matter Spire. He wins Submerged Stadium, and he finishes off the day winning Lakeview Circuit as well. Congratulations, Tim. That last race, though, like first time we've ever raced it. How did that feel?
That blocked off lane part is so long. In future, there's going to be some massive attacks going down on there because there's nothing you can do other than just sit in your lane and hope. But yeah, no, I think I probably got away with it when I had Peter up against the wall, and he just let me put him there. He then had to brake to obviously come back or get in line, otherwise he'd have crashed. And at that point, I just tried to launch something, and having been on the receiving end of it, once someone is just out of draft, it takes a huge mental effort to try and get back into it. Kudos to Peter to try and get me back to like 47 km an hour on that blocked off bit, but I checked the heart rates and I thought I might got a bit more. So I think someone said in chat that I wasn't happy to come second. And if you've got a chance at a win, then I'll always try and take it.
Well, speaking of the chat, Jacob loved Tim. I mean, you guys might consider speaking after the facts, because this is what the last message Jacob said as you won the race. Hi, Tim. I love you so much, my buddy. I love you, my buddy. How do you feel about this new professed love?
That's quite profound. I have no idea who he is. But, okay. Good racing all around. Well done to Nick and Timothy and Peter put up a good fight. Really interesting races. So, hope everyone enjoyed watching it. Plenty more later this evening.
Well, let's go and chat to Niels Heldens as well, because he came second. So 2 positions up. Niels, I know you said you were cold at the top of the racing. Did you warm up towards the end?
A bit. I was quite. This last one was quite hard because I started to feel like I was going to bonk any minute. So yeah, it was pretty hard in that sense, but it was a fun race. I was hanging around with Timothy for a while, and then suddenly we caught up to Q. Then yeah, he suddenly just probably had the thing that I talked about. He just bonked, or just reached his limit. I don't know. You need to ask him, but so that I just rode with Quinton to the line and sprinted for second, or for third in the race. Sorry. Yeah, it was good fun. Good Omnium. Nice to see taking a good result.
That's all that matters, having fun out there on the tracks. Well, congratulations, Niels. That's a great way to start the day. I do see we are 1 follower off. We're at 7,069. Who wants to be the 7,070th follower? You will automatically gain 1 Jesper point, but you've got to do it now. The offer only remains for the next 5 seconds. Timothy, towards the end there, did you bonk? What happened? We saw the tank just run on empty.
Yeah, it's pretty much empty now. Got to refuel for tonight. Yeah, this last race, there's a bit of skill in it, but it's a lot of power. And it's basically the trend of this Omnium. There's a lot of power courses and not many skills, so I'm always in a disadvantage there. But I'm working on it. That's why I'm doing all 3 today. Yeah, we'll see how it goes tonight. I'll have some teammates tonight as well, so it's gonna be fun.
How did you like the last racing here on Lakeview Circuit?
I think it's hard to tell because it was a smaller group, but I think if it's like 15 riders on this course, it's gonna be a lot more fun. With that straight, like Tim said, it's so long. It's not that you can't do anything when somebody's in your lane. Yes, we did have quantum shift, so there's always something to counter, like a hard block or something. So maybe next time we put in like an uncrashable to not like go through rides, but go through the obstacles to avoid blocks. Yeah, there's so much potential with power-ups and courses. Yeah.
I like it. I'll let you rest up, Timothy. Let's get the final word from Homer Thompson. Homer, I mean, again, another Omnium, another stellar performance from you, Homer. How did you enjoy today's racing?
I enjoyed the racing. I'm a little upset with myself. I crashed 3 times in that last race, and I can take just about anything in a race other than stupid mistakes, and I've got to get past that.
Well, the only way to get past that is more practicing, and there's no one else that does more practice than you, Homer, so I'm sure you will find a way. How are you going to spend the rest of your day today, Homer?
Well, I think probably I'm going to try to do another Omnium now because I need to practice.
Oh, I love that, Homer. Thanks for being amazing. Have fun later tonight, and good luck resting up, getting in some breakfast, and having another bit of Coca-Cola to revitalize the body ahead of the next race. I do see we're at 7,070 followers. And on that note, here are some Jesper points to all of you. Now, DK Mansuni says, I don't know what to use them for. Well, that's how Bitcoins started as well initially. Everybody was like, Bitcoin, what do I use this for? I can't use it for much. That's the same way with Jesper points. You just gotta keep racking them up. And when the day comes and you got Jesper points and suddenly you're a billionaire, you know who to thank. Homer Thompson. That's the guy. That's the guy you can thank because he made you stick around. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. 7,071. We're about to go to our closer, our ending screen. But as we do that, when the ending screen finishes, I'm expecting 7,080 followers because we're going to be live in another 5 hours with 2 more Omniums. I will be here again in 5 hours with more racing, and I expect to see Fire Popcorn. I expect to see Jacob Love. I expect to see all of you in here. So we're currently at 7,071. In 3 seconds, well, when I say go, in 3 seconds from my word, we're going to run the closer. I'm expecting 7,080. We've been great so far. This is all about looking at the guy over your shoulder and going, you better click that follow button. Like Homer killed himself. Tim worked so hard. Timothy literally blew a pipe out on course. This is it. So, my word is go now. Click that follow button. But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.